Cody Sun, fantastic series played by you and your team, but I have to ask you, you are the new guy to the LCS. Just what has it been like after the last 3-4 weeks?
After the first 3 weeks, we weren't doing so hot, so it wasn't the best of times. But for this week, we tried really hard. We buckled down and we tried really hard in practice and put in a lot of extra hours. And yeah, I think this week it showed.
Certainly have to agree. I want to ask you about the metagame in general, though. We've seen a lot of utility AD carries, lots of Varus, lots of Ashe, but you've been pulling out Misfortune in this series here as well. Do you feel more comfortable in that sort of metagame? Do you prefer the hyper carries? Like, what kind of AD carry player are you? Or do you think you're just pretty versatile?
I think I'm pretty versatile. Like, I can play hyper carries, I can play utility carries. Just like I try to find the best pick in the meta and like the OP picks, and then I just try to play them. So yeah, I don't really have a preference or anything.
Cool. And of course, being on a new team, you rely on your experienced players to really lift you up. What has the rest of the team been like? Kind of who's the leader for that team, both in and out of game? Who's kind of helping you along, guiding you through your new journey into the LCS?
I think Eugene's been really helpful. He's like the leader kind of in the team, and he does the huddles. He does the good quotes, get us like hyped up before our matches. So yeah, I'll say Eugene.
Nice. And one final question for you. I know you're actually a highly rated Go player, which is something I found out before the season started. I have to ask you, it's a very deep strategy game that's very complex. Are you kind of bringing some of that big brain, some of that strategy?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of like macro plays in Go, and macro plays in League of Legends are kind of similar. So yeah, it's been good.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. The first AD carry with a brain. Just joking there. Cody, so congratulations on the win here in the series. But back to analyst desk to wrap up the day.
Thank you very much, Pastry Time. Immortals are going to be very happy with the way that this weekend has gone for them, picking up 2 match victories and this series here in 2-0 fashion. Of course, the second game not as dominant as the first, but I want to work our way through this because the first game almost did feel gifted with that one early engagement and such a large gold advantage. Hard to not win. This time around, though, it was more on Immortals to claw their way into this game. So let's track a few plays here, the 2 faces of Immortals, in a sense. The first of which, a very intelligent crafted roam by Pobelter and Dardoch up to the top lane, putting the pressure on the Shen.
And this is something we hadn't seen much out of Immortals, is Dardoch and Pobelter doing things together that actually works out well. So seeing this roam was awesome. The fact that that was a kill that not only shuts him down, denies the wave. He has no TP to get back. It puts Shen way behind for the rest of the game.
Plus, key improvements, they learned from previous dives in the season where Flame would be on Maokai. He would twisted advance to start the dive and then have tower aggro the whole time, and he died. This time around, he waits until he can get his Arcane Smash, saves the twisted advance to drop the tower aggro.
Well, and this is the thing.
Also.
That seems like a small play, and in a sense, it is a small play. It picked up 1 kill, got a small CS advantage and an experience advantage in the top lane, but the steps in which they took to get there, it shows forethought from this team. And that's what we'd like to see more of, because not 10 minutes later, we kind of see the other face of Immortals, where they're not fully thinking through all the possibilities of a play.
Still aggressive.
Still aggressive, and that's the thing. So 17 minutes in, let's take a look at this one. Failed gank in the top lane. Once again, making a stab at something that, if it works, big advantage. But they're not taking into account all of the members of Team Liquid that can close this gap.
It's just kind of playing into what TL's team comp wants to do. They have the Shen ultimate to come cover the Corkyus pushing in the side lane. They have the Redemption on the Ivern, able to come in from pretty much anywhere. And then TL has a little bit more control in the mid lane. They're able to collapse and get people in position to punish that attempt. So it was just a case of Immortals not really thinking about everything that is available on the side of Team Liquid.
It's a counter-engaged comp. I mean, you have Ivern, you have Shen, you also have the long range from Jhin.
Karma.
It thrives when you overextend like this. So yeah, just taking a couple of those things into account before prepping those moves. Other than that, yeah, Team Liquid are looking so much better. A lot of improvements for them. And
Immortals is what you meant there.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Team Liquid,
Team Liquid not looking as improved.
Okay.
That's not to say, again, that Team Liquid didn't have their moments, but for the most part, we are seeing larger steps forward for Immortals here. Again, that play didn't go in their favor, but if it had, it probably would have blown the game wide open. Team Liquid now has control at this stage of the game, but as you mentioned, not without their mistakes. Let's take a look, 28 minutes into the game. Attempt of the Baron here by Team Liquid, but what is his positioning by Piglet?
I don't know. He's like really embraced the new sniper meta because he did it last night also on Varus, and he was up behind the Baron when the team was doing Baron, but they all kind of kite back here. But you've got a Maokai snare, Misfortune ultimate comes through with a huge zone, and so it really frees up the Kazakhs. Even though Dardark goes super deep here and does get popped, like they have enough DPS left and chase them down, and that's something where they then can take the Baron after that, and Team Liquid loses the what the hold they had on that game.
And with what we were talking about, how their comp is mostly a counter-engaged comp. This is exactly the opposite of what you want to do with that comp. You pin yourself up against the wall. Sure, they can kind of kite out to the top side, but they're not going to like turn off the Baron aggressively or anything like that. So they end up just getting engaged on by Flame, which sets up Cody's Sun for the nice ultimate.
And the reason they went for that play was because they had just picked off Olay. But Olay is the least threatening member of Immortals, and the things you're worried about are the Twisted Advanced Maokai on the front and this big Misfortune ultimate.
So player of the game going to Flame, honorable mention in Cody's Sun, as you just mentioned, two big picks there, being able to lock somebody down and then having that bullet time come across the top. It's been a successful pick for Cody's Sun so far and has allowed them, I think, again, some flexibility in the draft to be able to ban out that Varus early, right? Say, okay, you can take the Jhin. We're not going to give Piglet this ADC that he feels most comfortable on, where he's flash engaging as Varus. Let's keep him in that sniper mode where he seems a little bit more uncomfortable.
I think it's just very nice to see Immortals finally finding something that works for them, because before we saw them like first picking Jace and giving it to Flame, be like, please carry us, and that's obviously didn't work for them during the period that they were doing that. Here we saw Morgana in the past as well. Now it seems more like Thresh and the Misfortune as well being something that they have that they can pick, and it's really working for them.
At the end of the day, though, it seems like the takeaways for Immortals is that we've got movement in the right direction, still have leagues to go in terms of cleanliness and making sure that, we're putting forethought into whatever our next strategy is going to be, and really covering ourselves for the different outcomes, risk-reward situations we might be able to run into. That's going to close out the weekend, so let's go ahead and take a look at how the teams fall into the standings at the end of the day. Not going to close out the weekend.
I was going to let you go. I was like, he's got it.
It's the end of my weekend. I won't be here tomorrow. But with Cloud9 still in first, FlyQuest maintains second place alongside TSM. Despite their loss, though, Phoenix One maintained their hold of fourth, with Immortals doing the same at fifth place. Meanwhile, the rest of the league trickles down, with Envy and Team Dignitas sharing ninth place. Now, we still have a full day of matches coming up tomorrow, starting with CounterLogic Gaming versus Phoenix One on NA LCS 1. After that, former sister teams face off as FlyQuest look to give Cloud9 their first loss. On NA LCS 2, Echo Fox go against TSM, followed by Team Dignitas facing Envy in the Battle Arena. I think most eyes are going to fall on that FlyQuest C9 game tomorrow.
Yeah, we are still going to do LCS, even though you won't be here, Dash. The FlyQuest Cloud9, everybody's looking forward to it. Obviously, the story is well known throughout the league community, but it's just going to be so fun to see Hai and the old Cloud9 guys clash up against
Do you think they have what it takes? I mean, let's be real here. There is a lot of hype building around.
They are definite underdogs. But I'm getting drawn in to the FlyQuest hype. But they're definitely underdogs. Everybody stay rooted.
But it's not too far-fetched to see a world in which they win. Because if Jensen doesn't get off the ground and maybe they're able to
tilt him.
Yeah, who knows? They get a good draft and C9 can't quite
jungle
keep up with
mid matchups. That's exactly where I'm looking for that tomorrow. I mean, with Moon kind of rising to this new level of authority next to Hai, but then Contract performing very well in his rookie split.
I'm glad you bring that up, because Moon in his interview was just brimming with confidence, and he was like, "Yeah, I got no weight on my shoulders. I feel good going into it. I'm just free to."
I love that little tidbit. He's like, "Well, it's."
I won't directly quote him, but he said he was going to do well.
Right. No, I loved his quote about why he has that confidence. He's like, "Well, it's just because in scrims, Hai and I both just suicide a lot together."
He suicides harder.
Right. Exactly. So he's like, it's just like I can't perform worse on stage than we do in scrims sometime, and that maybe unlocks him a little bit. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the day. Now, for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more North American LCS. Good night.